how am I feeling coming into Sydney's Backyard Ultra? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I've had a bit of a interrupted like prep coming in just with an injury to my foot. But yeah, so I had Morton's neuroma in the foot, had a cortisone shot, sort of interrupted my training a bit. I haven't done the high volume I like to do, but yeah, it's a good way to experiment with lower mileage prep into this thing. Obviously had a big year last year with 3 Backyard Ultras averaging about 72 hours. So the base is there, mentally feeling really good, fresh, and yeah, ready to rumble.
Coming into this event, there's obviously some of the best competitors in Australia. We've got people like Phil Gore, your mate Ryan Crawford, Chris Turnbull's doing his first backyard, Jonathan Ash. What's your sort of take on the field at the moment?
Yeah, it's a strong field. I think you've probably got potentially, yeah, I don't know what Jonathan is. He's top. He'd be top 6 in Australia, and then you got Ryan and me and Phil as a top 3. So we know each other. We know it'll be good just to share that energy out there. What we've got to get through is the first 24 hours with 500 other people, and there'll be a lot of nervous energy from them. So we've just got to put that aside, and for us, it'll just put the head down. Don't worry too much about what's going on. Have some good chats, meet some people. It's actually a good distraction for us having a lot of people in the first 24 because it can be the hardest. That can be the hardest part. So when in October in Perth, we had just the 15 of us start, and we ran straight into the night. Started at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and that was hard. Really quiet already, not a lot going on, and you're just like, whoa, this is yeah, this is hard. It's already like there's no energy, and so having like 500 people. There'll be a lot of nervous energy from everyone. So we've just got to get through that. And then I think by hopefully 48 to 60, it'll really thin out, and it'll just be that sort of 4 or 5 that we know, and maybe someone else. But look, these things are very tough. To get to 48 is super hard. It's a great achievement. And hopefully we get a couple of people there that haven't done it yet. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we really want to bring a few people through, which will be we want people to run with us, because the hard thing with these is if you get isolated, it makes it very difficult. Running on your own for 12, 20, 24 hours, it's tough. So it's best if they can stick in a group, and yeah, we'd be happy to do that with anyone.
You actually grew up in St Ives and ran your first ultramarathon on these exact grounds.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be running on home turf, and do you think that gives you any kind of edge coming into this event?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like coming here is like coming home. Like spiritually, I'm part of this land. Like I've grown up here. I've run around these trails all my life. I've played on them. I've rode my BMX around this showground. Then I did my first ultra marathon here, 155 laps of that dirt track. So yeah, I've had a lot of history here, and I'll breathe it in, and I will take energy from this land, and yeah, to be able to actually run here for 4 or 5 days, you become a part of it. It, like the mental side, you really blur, and yeah, we will literally become a part of this place, and I can't wait for that. Yeah, I really feel like it's such a full circle life moment for me to be back here, and yeah, I really feel like it's going to be, I'm so grateful. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to run around here for that long.
And you briefly touched there on the world record. Do you think it is a potential that the world record gets taken?
We could, yeah, I think so. As long as we work together, I think we need to take a leaf out of the Belgians' book. Like, they really worked together. They kept a real lightheartedness about everything, and they looked fine at the end of 110. So those guys, Phil and Ryan, got close in Perth, and 82 is not far off. I just have to tweak a few things in that end point, and I know I can keep going. So everything has to go well. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, and it does depend. If we get left really early, just the 3 of us or 4 of us, that can make it difficult. But if there's a big a 6 or 7 group that can go into the 70s at least, we could have a shot at it. It's not something we're thinking about too much, but it'll come into play later on. Yeah.
Definitely. Speaking of Ryan, you and Ryan Crawford are obviously known for training together. What do you take out of preparation with him? What do you take from Ryan, and how was training with him been?
Well, we both come from different sports. So he's a fighter in Muay Thai. He's spent a career training and tapering into big fights. And so he knows just so much about prep, about dealing with pain, about dealing with tough moments. He's just such a beast. And it's it's a pleasure to call him a friend. I've been so lucky to meet him through this period, and we're lucky that we can run together on these things. It's not easy to find that personality that it works. Sometimes you can we don't even need to talk. We just share an energy out there, and it makes it so much easier for us to make these big numbers. And it's accountability too. You've got that gym partner or training partner that your alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and you wouldn't really get out of bed unless, hey, I've got to go, like, I know that person's going to be at the gym and waiting for me. So I've got some accountability there. And it's like every time that whistle goes, I'm like, oh man, I know Ryan's going to get up and he's going to be there, and I have to be there with him. So it's a huge accountability factor just to have someone there like, oh God, I got to get up because Ryan will kill me if I don't get up and go again. But we enjoy the races together. We enjoy the time together. We're lucky, we can get those big training sessions in and push each other there as well. And yeah, it's amazing to be with someone so positive and so driven to find his limits. And yeah, we know we can do it together. So
Chris Turnbull is running his first backyard ultra tomorrow. If you know who he is, he's currently holds the fastest time running from Perth to Sydney. What piece of advice would you give him?
Well, I can tell you the challenge he's going to have is that there's a whistle blowing every 57 minutes, and it's relentless. And all your problems need to be sorted during the time of you getting in to the time of that whistle going. And the trouble, with anyone coming into a backyard, if you've never done them before, is just that relentless cycle of, oh my God, the whistle again, it's coming. And if you've got problems, if you've got a foot issue, blisters, anything, it needs to be sorted quickly and done. You can't miss that bell, otherwise the race is over. So he's going to have to work out his nutrition. He's going to have to work out how he operates around the hours, and how he paces as well. I think most people run these things a bit fast, and there's no use trying to go out and run with Phil or try and work off someone else. You have to find your own. And I think what we see in these first 24 hours is people going way too fast. And look, some people might only have the goal of doing 10 hours or doing 20 hours, and they'll run 35 to 40 minute loops. But yeah, if you want to go long, it's a matter of finding that nice mix of a really cruisy pace that's very sustainable. So yeah, he's used to those big long runs. He's definitely got the mindset, but the lack of sleep's the other thing. You don't get that. You can't do 100 Ks a day and then sleep for 8 hours or whatever you're doing, and then, or he's probably only getting 4 to 6, but you're not getting 2 minutes a loop for 4 days. You got to get used to that.
You obviously plan to be the last man standing at this event. What message would you send to anyone else who thinks they are going to be the last person standing?
So my message to anyone else that thinks they're going to be the last person standing is good luck. I mean, you're going to need it. There's some great competition here. I always go in just with as I said, very small goals. So it'll be even getting to 24 or getting to 48 and then moving ahead. I just want to feel my way in, keep my pace, keep my race, stay strong on the nutrition, stay strong on the sleep, and build a really good foundation in those first 48 hours. And then the outcome's all going to take care of itself. So there's some great runners here. For me, being the last one standing is not something I'm really thinking about in the first 24 hours. It's such a different race where you've got 500 people here to then 4 days later you've got 3 or 2. It's a totally different ball game, and you have to have different mindset for both. So I'm not thinking that far ahead yet. just thinking about building a good base in his first 24 hours, and then moving through those 100-mile milestones, and keeping the body right, and keeping the legs right for as long as possible. So yeah, last one standing. It's a nice thing to think about, but there's so much involved to getting there that you just focus on yourself and don't worry about what else is going on with anyone else.
And in this sport, I think a lot of people want to know what it takes to become an elite. In your opinion, what does it take to become an elite?
Yeah, to become an elite, I mean, it's a hard question for me to answer. I feel like it's just time doing these things. I think you do your first one, you probably don't have all the right equipment. You probably have a crew that might miss a few hours or come and go a bit, or so you've got to get all the elements lined up. It's such a hard format to get right, and we know, to put the foundations in place is probably part of becoming elite. So having all the gear you need, having all the nutrition you need, having the crew stick to a plan, and then to become elite as an athlete, you have to put the miles in. You have to have time where you're doing ridiculous weekly mileage. You have to be able to run good, fast 100-milers, I reckon, and then be able to work the sleep angle. Because I think, probably Ryan especially, he could get to 70, but the sleep, he always missed the sleep, and then it would really struggle during the mid-70s. So I've always been lucky. I can kind of get into bed and I don't worry about actually sleeping. I just go into a deep, relaxed state. And I think probably not worrying about talking to your crew. You're not there to entertain them. You're there to just come in, take what you need in terms of food, and then get some rest. And don't waste the first day either. It's not about, if you're feeling good, don't sit there and just talk or be on your phone. Get some deep relaxation in, and really you're thinking long term. Like, it's not how you feel now, it's how do you feel in 3 days. So there's lots of things that mindset wise need to change before you can access this ability to go long. And it's a process, and the only way I think is by doing these backyards over and over again and refining each time and taking the wins with the losses. But every single time you do one, you learn something and you incorporate it, and that's winning every time.
That's beautiful. With 500 people running at this year's Sydney Backyard Ultra, does that sense of community excite you?
It's so good. So the first 24 hours for us, it can be difficult because you can really start to hurt, and you're still running 100 miles. It's a big number. There's no doubt running 100 miles is always a challenge, even if you're doing it in a slower than you could. It's 24 hours, it's 100 miles. That's a tough ask. And having that big energy of 500 people, and the beautiful thing about it is we get to see everyone hit their goals. So for a lot of people, they'll be hitting a distance goal. For a lot of people, there'll be the moments when someone's coming into the corral with like 20 seconds to go, and the whole race will be standing there ready to go for the next one, and we'll be clapping them in and cheering, and then everyone will go, turn around and go again. And all those moments are a beautiful shared energy. They help us. We'll also see people struggling, and I think I take energy from that too, because you'll see people in absolute, really struggling with their goals, and you've got to think, well, hey, they're pushing themselves so hard, and you're going to be there at some stage in this race. You have to take energy from that, like take inspiration from that person. And so they're the little bits of energy that we can take and bank and use later. But it's brilliant to see. It's going to be so cool.
And on that, talk to us a bit about how much the sport has grown in recent years, Backyard Ultras.
Yeah, so when I started, only like 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't know much about it. And I think that the format's been around since 2011, but right now I believe there's more Backyard Ultras in the world than marathons. So it's crazy to think, but I can see why it is becoming popular, because it's also a really good spectacle. the live stream, there'll be heaps of people watching. There's heaps of people interested in the Instagram updates and all that sort of stuff. And I think it almost is. It's because it's almost a game of Survivor. And I mean, apart from the fact that these people are running for days on end and it's mind blowing for people, it is also like watching us start to work each other out and like who's going to drop next. That's a massive, like, that's a draw card for people watching. So, and that's why I think people love it. And then, you know, it's accessible to everyone. You can come and do a yard or 2 yards, and then you've had your little touch of the backyard ultra, and then you can come back and try it again later and double that and double that. And it's a chance for everyone to get their distance goal, and be around every other person running, whether they are elite or back of the pack. We're all together. We're all at the start line every hour. No one's getting further ahead than each other. So it's not like that normal ultra marathon where all the fast guys run off and you never see them and you never get to talk to them. We're going to be able to talk to anybody, and share our experiences and share our stories and you know, give them tips and whatever. So yeah, it's going to be really cool.
And what does winning mean to you?
So winning means, I mean, yeah, to me, winning is the training, the time spent in preparation that you're able to come and start and stand on the start line. And for me as well, coming back to St. Ives, my home, my childhood home, it's just being here and being able to compete. And I'm so grateful that my body allows me to do this. I love the challenge mentally of these things. It's always a bit daunting the day before as I'm sitting here and knowing that tomorrow at 8 a.m. we're kicking off a really long, tough journey, but it's exciting. And I wouldn't, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. So yeah, it's going to hurt, and there'll be times where I really question why I'm doing it. But you know, this is living, you know, this is pushing yourself. Like I can't believe I get to push myself to the absolute edge of human performance. And yeah, just even just the not sleeping for 4 nights kind of thing is still crazy to me. And in ways, it's still unbelievable that I can do that. So right now, sometimes I think I don't know if I can do it again. But yeah, we get to try, we get to test, and I get to do it with, you know, people that I know and love, and I get to share it with my crew, and you know, who that to me is winning. It doesn't matter what happens to me. You've got to let go of the outcomes. When you're on that start line, it just doesn't matter. You're there, flow into the day and let everything happen, and just roll with the punches.
A gift for you from the race directors.
Beautiful.
If you want to open them up, and
So we're going to be wearing these on the race?
if you want to do a
Yeah.
couple laps of them.
Yeah, for sure. So it's hot out there already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow.
Open a shirt up. Maybe.
Hopefully tomorrow's not as hot.
You were gonna go to red because we're wearing
Yeah, I like red. Red's fast. Perfect. Love it.
That's it, man. Thank you so much. And I'll just grab a quick photo if you want to shift the chairs.